is Yannick Salcedo, and I am a FileMaker developer for years. I'm a regular speaker in many FileMaker conferences, most of the time in design subjects like user experience and user interface design. User interface and layout design are my subject today. Most of our FileMaker solutions need at least one layout, and very often several dozen of them. This is true for all kinds of devices, Mac and Windows desktop computers, or iPhone and iPad, with, of course, specific requirements regarding the device and the size of the display. UI, or user interface, is a visual tool to use your application. It must be simple, with easy access, and graphically appealing if possible. With FileMaker, we can create very complex solutions, and most of the time, our layouts can display hundreds of elements at once. You have fields, labels, call to action buttons, panels, web viewer, icons, and many more. As a designer, your job is to organize these elements, to organize this chaos so that your user is not totally lost. The user must first be able to easily read your interface, read your layout, and quickly distinguish between elements. Your job as a designer is to arrange this layout to make it easier to read. To organize these elements on a layout, you have at your disposal a very large number of visual clues. You have colors, shapes, sizes, and position. You can and you have to use them all. Making the design work complicated is really not necessary. Most of the time, simplicity, common sense, and following few graphic rules lead to the best results. Here is an example I liked because it perfectly illustrates the importance of visual clues and layout design to understand the purpose of an interface even when you don't know the language. I do not speak Japanese, I do not understand the content, but I can guess the function of different elements from their style or their position on the layout. From top to bottom, I guess on the top is the navigation bar because of the tabs. I guess there's a header and probably on the bottom a body. The table reminds me of a quote or an invoice. On the right side, I guess that the three elements are fields because of the frame and the borders. On the bottom of the screen, I guess this is a button because of the specific graphic style, the gradient, the bevel, the colors. It is a conclusion made only on the visual aspect of this layout. To show that content is not the most important when you design a user interface, because you have to focus first on the visual aspects of the elements, I will use in this presentation famous color rubrics. You will understand this way how important size, color, and groups are. First thing you can do when you design a UI is to clearly identify your important categories. In a FileMaker solution, most of the time, we have three main kinds of elements. We have fields, buttons, and navigation. You have to create your own visual grammar, and you have to use it in all of your screens. The user must be able to identify a category only by its graphic style. And if the job is well done, the user can also easily identify an item as belonging or not to a specific category. The basic rule is to associate the common elements by visual clues. The first trick is to apply the rule, also called the law of similarity. What looks the same has the same function. But take care, because in the same time, when everything looks too similar, you cannot tell the difference. Therefore, the rule of similarity involves also creating differences by playing with colors, shapes, or sizes. At the end of this process, the user must be able to visually identify your fields, your labels, your buttons, and all the other elements in your layout. The rule of similarity implies that all the elements of the same category are visually alike. At the same time, you must create strong visual differences between these categories to prevent the user from making misunderstandings. As an example, I show a FileMaker Go expense solution. My fields, labels, and section titles have their own style. So my user cannot confuse titles and labels, for example. A first simple mistake to avoid when objects in different categories look too similar. For example, to differentiate labels from fields, do not hesitate to increase the difference in font size, or you can use color differences. Another error I found in an existing solution: the former developer used icons in the same style and same size for buttons and also to illustrate some record attributes. Here is an icon to identify female or male. In this case, it is impossible to differentiate a call to action button from an illustration. To fix that, you must increase the visual difference. In my solution, I want to integrate graphics because it is more pleasant and engaging for the user. I make them very different from the buttons. For the user, that must not be possible. The second step in my design process consists in grouping together in the screen the elements. It's obvious and easy with navigation elements, but it can be tricky with other items. You need to group objects according to content, meaning, or business logic. The law of proximity reminds us that the user will associate the elements that are close. For example, here the association of a field and its label. Even if the colors and sizes are very different between my blue bricks and my gray bricks, the association is made by the proximity of each pair. There is a case of association according to the content. In a contact form, for instance, it is very usual to group first name and last name, and to have another group for fields related to the address, like street, zip code, and city. A larger margin is enough to create these two groups. The proximity of two elements that have nothing to do together can cause errors. A few years ago, and it's a true story, I missed my train at Geneva train station in Switzerland because I went to the wrong platform after having misinterpreted the billboard. If I reproduce the same billboard here, even with the dividing line, confusion is possible because the name of the destination is too close to the next non-related time and platform. In accordance with the rules of hierarchy and proximity, in my humble opinion, the display would be more efficient this way, with the destination name closer to its departure time and platform number. Another way to visually associate elements is to frame them. It's the law of common region. This simple technique, inherited from the paper desktop publishing, consists of creating sections using backgrounds or frames. All starter solutions use this proximity and common region laws, as here with the invoices solution. Fields are grouped by topics and sections are represented with frames. When you group objects in a user interface, you also have to work on the visual hierarchy. At this stage, we are talking about the size of the elements. The visual hierarchy is not there to order elements. The purpose is to show the importance of the elements between them. The visual hierarchy does not have to be top to bottom and left to right. Here is an example of an UI for a project management software intended to be used on very large screens. The central element of this UI is the navigation column placed in a very unusual way in the middle of the screen. Alignment is the easiest goal to achieve. Objects aligned are easier to read, and it does not require any artistic skill. You just have to take care of every detail and use the tools that FileMaker puts at our disposal, like guides and grid. If you want the best visual result, you have to take care of both the horizontal and vertical alignments, and also respect the same spacings or margins horizontally as vertically. Like those grids that hang on the plate, use a FileMaker layout grid to hang your objects. When you have in the same screen a portal and multiple other objects, it can be tricky to align vertically a nice way. If you have, like in this example, fields on the side and the content in a portal on the other side, it can be difficult to align the text at the same level, also called the baseline. My solution in this case, I use fields of the same height as the portal rows and labels embed into its field. This way, everything is perfectly aligned. This is the same layout in browse mode. And with this technique, it's possible to use vertical margins too. My portal rows are higher and transparent, and I use a white rectangle in background to mimic a row, like you can see in the layout mode. Here is a solution which presents this technique with the portal on the right and multiple fields perfectly aligned on the left. Alignment cannot be perfect without working on the size of the objects. We have previously seen the importance of heights for vertical alignment. It is obvious that horizontal sizes, lengths, are also important. Assembling the plastic bricks is simple at first because the sizes of all these bricks are a multiple of the initial 1x1 module. You can play with 2x3 or 4x8 bricks and many more. And everything fits together perfectly. When designing FileMaker layout, the same result can be achieved with a very popular desktop publishing technique called the grid system. To put it simply, the grid system consists of dividing a layout into columns. After that, All the object's widths are defined by the column width. 1, 2, 3 times the column, and so on. The difficult part is to find the right numbers of columns according to your device and your display. Generally, an iPhone layout that is held in portrait mode will have a single column, and a layout designed for iPad will have at least 3 or 4 columns. For desktop layouts with a much larger screen, 12 or 24 columns are good choices, as they offer many possible combinations for the sizes of the object. Here is an example of a layout with a 12-column grid for project management to be used on a desktop. You can see that the objects on the layout are 1, 2, 3, or even 4 columns wide. Finally, the last step in my design process is to simplify the interface to keep on screen only what is essential. Fewer objects on the screen means less stress for the user, less work to read and to understand the layout. In this example, if the red bricks represent navigation, blue bricks the content, and yellow bricks the call to action buttons, the UI designer must ask himself, is it really necessary to have all these buttons always on the screen? All our screens have buttons to do different kinds of actions, like create or delete reports, print report, and so on. Maybe it is not essential to always have them on the same screen, and a more elegant solution is to group them in a custom menu. FileMaker offers us several ways to achieve that with drop-down menus, popover, or even card window. These guidelines are well explained in one of the WWDC 2020 videos, which I present the link here. In this real solution example, the top of the screen shows the first release of an interface that had 5 buttons at this time. During the development time, with the number of actions increasing, it was more efficient to group all these actions into a popover menu. Finally, despite the function increasing, the user found the interface easier to use. To conclude, do not multiply colors or sizes for no reason. On the contrary, try to apply strict rules on yourself to limit variations. A successful design is based on the search for simplicity. Thank you for watching.